Yo, what's up, family? It's Omar, and as always, I'm sending you love and peace. Hope you're doing well, beautiful people. I was just out in nature for the last hour by myself in solitude, getting some nature, getting some sun, soaking up some energy. I left my phone in the car to avoid distractions, avoid negativity. What are they setting up? What is the stage that is being set up right now? In today's video, I'm going to offer a different perspective and hopefully offer a different way of thinking to explain some of what's going on in the world right now. Because we all know that something is taking place and something big is happening right now. We can't quite put our finger on it. People can't really tell. People don't really know, but we can't deny what we are feeling. Emotions never lie. Energy never lies. I want you to think about this with an open mind. I want you to think. We need to start thinking rationally, analytically, right? We need to start thinking logically versus emotionally, irrationally, because emotions are usually deceiving. I want you to realize that for the last few months, we have been confined, right? We have been forced to stay home. We have been told that we must stay home. I want you to realize that when you spend time in solitary confinement, when you spend time away from everything and everyone, you naturally become more animalistic. You become more primal. Your animal instincts, your primal instincts start to come out. And it's normal out of survival. So now I want you to realize that for the last few months, with this more animalistic side of us coming out, because we are scared and our vibrations are being lowered, right? They allowed a video to go viral late April, beginning of May, of a brother who was killed in Georgia, right? That happened 4 months ago. This happened February. However, it didn't start being talked about and going viral and start to see it everywhere around mid-April, end of April, beginning of May. And now this was followed by a snuff video. Google the word, look up what snuff video means, right? Of somebody allowed to be murdered in broad daylight. And the video is going viral and everybody's sharing it thinking they're doing something good. I want you to do some research and realize that there's so many studies. There are several studies that show the negative consequences, the detrimental and horrible effects on the brain, on the psyche, when you see somebody get killed, whether it's in a movie, in a video game, let alone a real live human being that you see alive one moment and then dead the next moment. I want you to realize that not me, myself, but a lot of people have been promoting the devil's work instead of God's work. That a lot of people, without knowing it, are promoting fear, promoting anxiety, promoting depression, promoting negative vibrations. And they think they're doing something good for awareness. Because we're not aware, right, that this has been going on in America for the last 400 plus years. Because we're not aware that this was already going on in Europe and Africa, that this has been going on forever and ever and ever. We're not already aware that this takes place every single day, every single week, somewhere in America. But it doesn't go viral. They don't speak about it. They choose which ones go viral. I want you to realize that there are huge people, there are groups of people that profit, that benefit from us being weak, us feeling depressed, us feeling anxious, us being at our weaker states. And this is carried out by their greatest and biggest tool and asset, which is the media. The media is not here to expose truth. The media is not here to share real information. The media is here to drill thoughts and narratives into our brain through repetition. I want you to realize that the subconscious mind is what dictates how we live and how we act and how we feel every single day. On average, we have 70 to 80,000 thoughts per day. And they say that usually 90% of our thoughts are the same reoccurring thoughts and feelings as the day before and the day before and the day before. And this brainwashing The subconscious programming, the programming of the subconscious brain happens through repetition, through habit forming, right? For example, it's happened to all of us where you hear a song one time, and the first time you hear it, you hate the song. You don't like it. It's not your kind of song at all. But then afterwards, you hear it in the car, you hear it in the stores, your friends are playing it, your family's playing it, and before you know it, you find yourself singing along to the song, saying the words. And then eventually that's followed by you liking the song, even though at first you didn't. But because of repetition, it has been drilled into your mind. You accept something once you've seen it so many times. And we are normalizing, and we're becoming so desensitized and numb to these things that are going on. And this is by design. I want you to realize that whether we'd like to admit it or not, this was allowed to be happen. This was allowed to happen in broad daylight. I do believe this could have been avoided if there had been people in the streets jumping in and putting pressure rather than pulling out their phones and recording. Everybody likes to feel like they are a part of something, and I get that. Some of you have very good intentions. So you want to feel good about yourself like you're doing something, right? So you're sharing the video of a snuff film that should only really be seen ever besides in the dark web. I want you to realize that the stage they are preparing is a real life purge. Martial law is coming. Whether we like it or not, it is no longer a matter of if, but a matter of when. I want you to realize that you have way more power than you are led to believe. I want you to realize that these people don't want you to believe in yourself. They don't want you to believe in love. They don't want you to believe in God. They don't want you to be positive. They don't want you to be in control of yourself. They rather be in control of you. Because if you're weaker, if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're miserable, if you're suffering, you become a consumer, which makes a lot of profit for them. And if you're weaker, you become easier to manipulate and convince of certain things, certain narratives. And so now you have riots going on all over America in different cities. Not protests, but riots. And whether it is justified or not justified, at the end of the day, I want you to realize that we cannot fight for peace. You must be peace. You cannot fight for love. You must be love. You cannot fight for equality. You must be equal and treat everyone as your equal. These people do not want you to know and accept this. Because if we all unified, if we all loved each other, if we all spread love and awareness, if we all believed in ourselves and in God, they would have no power or ability to control us, because we would be able to control ourselves. They don't want you to know that. I want you to realize that we, the people, are the population. We outnumber these people. These groups, these industries, these enterprises, these governments, these institutions. But the only way they have power is by us giving it to them and allowing them to have it. I want you to realize that in the beginning of, I'm not going to say the word, the C word that started happening, a few months ago. They first told us to not wear masks. They were telling us and insisting that masks served no purpose. That only doctors and the people who have something should be wearing masks. And now 3 months later, 4 months later, they are insisting that all of us must wear masks. They're forcing us here in the United States, if you want to go to a store, if you want to go to a restaurant, to wear a mask. And if you don't, something will happen to you. Or you are not allowed to purchase what you want to purchase. You're not allowed to go into the establishment. They're telling us that even if you don't wear a mask, you must wear a bandana. You must cover yourself with your shirt. The crazy thing is, now everybody's walking around these riots with masks, and we cannot tell the difference between civilians who care and who are protesting and private agents, undercover agents, police officers, or people who are being bought and paid off to go riot, to go create a havoc, to go create chaos, to go break into places, to go damage property. The worst part about this, the sad part about this, is that they are damaging our property, our neighborhoods, our establishments, our businesses, not their places, right? These are all happening in dense populated areas, in lower economic status areas, versus where the elites live, versus where the elites shop, versus where the elites reside, right? For those of you who care about doing something, why don't you go do something for real? And I'm not encouraging anybody to do anything besides take care of yourself, protect your energy. I want you to realize that in the Purge movie, everybody was wearing masks. And now everybody is wearing masks. I want you to realize that we are being forced to live in a surveillance state now. I don't know who this little kid is. There's a little kid outside following me. There's a bunch of kids, actually. I don't know if they're coming to me. I don't know what the heck is going on. It's a little tribe of them. But either way, to make a long story short, I want you to realize that you have way more power than you think. I want you to realize that a lot of people were waking up. A lot of people were getting stronger. A lot of people were raising their vibrations in the last few months, in the last year. A lot of people were gaining more strength. A lot of people were becoming more spiritual. And those who are not were becoming more miserable, were suffering more. Their vibrations were getting lower and lower. Because solitude can make you go either way, right? When you have love, when you have yourself, when you have God, you become a stronger person when you are in solitude. Every prophet in the Bible, every prophet in the Quran spent 30 days, 40 days of solitude before their prophethood. And even the monks and the Buddhists, right? The Buddhist monks, the Hindus, they spend time alone in temples, away from society, in order to reach and achieve enlightenment. I want you to realize that a lot of things happen when you are spending time alone by yourself. I want to remind you that we are spiritual beings having human experiences, and not the other way around. We are not human beings having spiritual experiences. You are a soul, and you were here before you were in this body. And you will be here again even after you are in this body. This body is just borrowed. This is temporary. This life is temporary. I want you to realize that everything is energy. If you break down the human body, and if you break down every matter to its smallest core, we are a bunch of atoms. We are made up of atoms. And atoms are made up of electrons and mostly nothing, which means we are a bunch of nothing coming together to appear and look like something. The world out there is just an illusion. I don't spend time on social media, neither should you. I don't watch TV, and neither should you. Right? I want you to do some research. I want you to start reading books. You should look into and read Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. You should research and read Morals and Dogma by Pike, a gentleman who was a Freemason, 33rd degree Freemason, who predicted everything that's going on. I want you to read books by George Orwell, who spoke a lot about what is going on exactly today and what will continue to come. I want you to do some research and look into psyops, programs and experiments. Psyops carried out by the media, psyops carried out by the government, psyops carried out by the police. I want you to realize that these people only have power because you don't have it. If you regain your power, you will experience a totally different life. Happiness is a choice. Peace is not something that we're supposed to look for out there. Peace is not something that we arrive to. It's not something that we achieve. Peace is something that we can only cultivate within ourselves. If you are not a peaceful person, you will never experience peace, no matter how badly you think you are fighting for it. No matter how badly you think you are justified in what you are doing. I want you to realize that over the last 48 hours, hundreds and thousands of people were arrested all over America. whose names were not released. People were just being taken into vans. People were just being taken into police cars. People being sprayed by mace. People being sprayed by water hoses. People being shot with rubber bullets. And we don't even know half of these people's names. They're not being released. They're not being shared with us. I want you to protect yourself and realize that if you are not here, and if you are not alive and healthy, if you are not strong, if you are not protecting yourself spiritually, then you cannot do anything for anyone else. Because no matter how much you want to, you cannot save anybody. All we can do is love people. All we can do is support people. All we can do is reflect to people the world they want to see and live in. We cannot save anybody. You cannot do anything for anybody. No matter how much you love them. No matter how much you think it's good. No matter how much you try. So a lot of us have sacrificed ourselves in order to try to save others, without realizing that if we are living like others, then we are all going the same direction as others. So there are a lot of people who are sheep who are being led and steered a certain direction. And then there are a lot of other people who have great intentions who are also following the same direction. And so whether we like it or not, the elites are winning. Whether we like it or not, a new world order is upon us. Whether you like it or not, research and look up Agenda 21, also known as Agenda 2030. This is something that 178 countries signed off on in 1992. There will be a global world. There will be a one world economy. There will be a one world government. They want to reduce everyone to just numbers, to just a population of mindless zombies who are consuming and being enslaved. Right? We don't need anything or anyone. We need ourselves and each other. We don't need anybody to control us because we are very well capable and equipped of protecting ourselves. To conclude this video, I want to remind you of things that you can do to raise your vibration, to make sure that you are healthy, to make sure that you are good, to make sure that you are positive. A lot of people, for us Muslims, for example, the last month was Ramadan. And during the month of Ramadan, we were praying all day, every day. We were fasting. We were becoming closer to enlightenment. We were getting closer to God. We were raising our frequencies and vibrations. And a week later, everybody forgot about all that. Everybody's back to this lower state of vibration where they are depressed, anxious, stressed out, fearful, promoting the devil's work, as I mentioned. What you can do to take care of yourself is shine your light. I always say this because I do truly believe in this. What I mean by shine my light is if I shine my light, it means I am adding value to myself. The more I add value to myself, the more valuable I become as a human being. And the more value I have, the more value I'm able to provide to other human beings. So if I shine my light in my everyday life, it means I become the best version of myself, which therefore allows me to become the best son I can be, the best brother I can be, the best neighbor I can be, the best man I can be, the best future husband I can be. And if I do this and I shine my light around me, then I am giving light to my family and my neighbors, therefore helping my community. And if I can get across to some of you and shine your light, right? Now you guys do the same in your families, in your neighborhoods, and your communities. There is something called the law of duality, the law of polarity, which states that everything is created in twos, which appear to be opposite but are really the same exact thing. Love and hate are two faces of the same coin. They're the exact same thing, just vibrating at different frequencies. I want you to realize that the more hate you have, the more hate you experience, the more hate and negativity you see and share and give life to, the more you become that. I want you to realize that our thoughts create our reality, that our words create our reality, and that our actions create our reality. So your thoughts and your words and your actions must be congruent. You cannot pretend to be a positive person and say that you are positive and acting negatively. You cannot say that you are for the people, by the people, and love the people, and meanwhile you are going against other people. I want you to realize that their plan to keep us trapped in homes and keep us at these lower vibrations didn't work. Which is why now they had to come up with a new plan, which was a race war. Create all this racial tension, create all this division, create all this chaos, so that they can continue to carry out their agenda and their plans. And these agendas and these plans will continue to be carried out, which is why you must protect yourself first. I'm not saying to pretend like nothing is going on out there. I'm not saying to not care about what is going on. I'm saying to not feed into it, to not give power and life to it, to speak about good and speak about solutions more than you speak about problems and bad, to shine light and to shine love more than you're shining hate and negativity. So to reiterate, in conclusion of this video, what you should be doing is eating healthy. Avoid toxic foods like sugar and palm oil and processed foods. Start eating more greens, more veggies, more fruits. In conclusion, what you can do to better yourself is spend more time laughing and smiling. I know this sounds crazy, but I drive by myself and I laugh. It's crazy, but I laugh by myself. I smile by myself all day, every day. I'm not waiting for somebody to make me laugh. I'm not waiting for somebody to make me smile. If you smile for 30 seconds with your cheeks raised, go like this. For 30 seconds to a minute and a half, you will naturally feel better. Your brain and body will release and produce more endorphins like dopamine, like serotonin, like adrenaline that help you do better and feel better. I want you to realize that when you accomplish something every day, even if it's something small, if you set the intention to make your bed, if you set the intention to meditate, if you set the intention to do something good for someone, if you set the intention to pray, if you set the intention to do well, and you achieve one of those little goals that you set, your brain then feels accomplished, which again creates more endorphins within you. So even chemically, you feel better as a human being. And when you feel better, you perform better. And when you perform better, you feel better about yourself. And now you are on this positive cycle. Versus when you are looking at negativity all day, every day on social media because you are addicted to it. You cannot deny that when you get on social media, doesn't matter what platform, you are being bombarded with negativity, bombarded with these keyboard social justice warriors who are telling you that you are bad for not being on their side, for not agreeing with them, for not being hateful like they are. And I understand that it's coming from a good place. It's coming from good intentions. But my brothers and sisters, it doesn't matter how justified you feel. What you are doing is not the truth. You are being led astray without even knowing it. Spend time with yourself. Go out in nature. Recharge with some grass. Recharge in a river. Recharge in some water. Recharge in the sun. Get some vitamin D, some vitamin E. Boost your immune system up. Spend time with family and friends. And like I said, if you can't do that, then at least spend time with yourself. Get to know yourself. What do I really feel? Assess and reflect. Why do I feel this way? What are my real thoughts? What are my real opinions? Who am I? Know thyself. Because if you don't know yourself, then how could you possibly try to understand and know what's going on out there in the world? Because the world is not taking place out there. It's only taking place in here and in here. There is psychological warfare going on. These people are attacking our minds. There is a spiritual war going on. There is a very real war going on, but this is not a physical war. Because those who are trying to fight this war physically will lose. Because physically we are not strong enough. We are not equipped for this. You don't know what you don't know. But you can start doing more research and you will find out more truths. Seek truth, not stimulation. It's easy to keep listening to songs that keep you at these lower frequencies. Listening to music about heartbreaks, listening to music about suicide and depression, listening to music about being a gangster and being tough and being this villain when that's really not who you are. You're allowing yourself to accept and sing words that are not even you and your real experiences. You're watching shows that are keeping you at these lower states by making you depressed, making you feel anxious, where you are seeing so much negativity happen and your brain doesn't know the difference between what is real and not real. It just knows what it's being fed. So please start to filter what is being fed to your brain. You choose what enters your mind. You choose what you focus on. You choose what you choose to be aware about. And awareness is like water, right? Our mind is like a bunch of grass, a bunch of plants, a bunch of flower. And wherever our awareness goes, our energy flows. So start to water the good plants. Start to water the good things in your mind rather than the weeds, rather than the weeds, rather than the plants that you don't want to be growing in your mind. Start to focus on the kind of world you do want to see versus the world you don't want to see. Start to focus on the things you do have and be grateful for that versus looking at the things you don't have and being ungrateful and wishful and envious and jealous. These are all lower emotions that keep you trapped. And ultimately, that is what these people want, is to trap you, to profit off of you, to benefit off of your energy. I want to remind you that you are already worthy. I want to remind you that you are already loved. I want to remind you that you have a purpose. God is not done with you. You are still here. You are still alive for a reason. And as long as you are here, it means you have a purpose. You don't have to go out there and find purpose. You just be purpose. Be on purpose. Do things on purpose. Choose to smile every day on purpose. Choose to be good to others on purpose. Do not allow the world out there to dictate and tell you how you should feel in here. I didn't want to go on a long rant and off tangent. I don't want this to be a long video, but I do hope that it provides some value. I do hope that some of you are resonating with my words. If you see the world the same way that I see it, comment down below so I can see you and so that other people can see that we are not alone. Because in this day and age, we are all feeling very much alone, especially those of you who are awake, those of you who are seeking truth, those of you who are righteous, those of you who are religious, those of you who believe in yourselves, those of you who believe in God, those of you who believe in love. You will continue to be attacked, which is why you must be aware and you must be intelligent and you must be discerning in your actions, in your thoughts. You must be aligned with who you truly are so that you can regain control of yourself and not mindlessly flow and go with the flow. Anyways, this is a longer video than I intended. And as always, I'm sending you love and peace.